Combo, of course. Alejandro. Now it's top. Now remind us how it works.
Top 6, 7th goes into a playoff.
Oh, and the playoff is against what, New Zealand or someone like that?
No. It's a whole playoff system where you have 6 teams that enter that, and yeah, teams from CONCACAF, from CAF as well, from Oceania.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
But you should be all right. Well, if you finish 7th.
Let's get into the playoff first, and then we can get into the conversation as to how we get through the playoff.
Okay, more on Venezuela a little later on, as they, of course, are facing Argentina a little later on. Gustavo joins us. Gustavo, how are you, mate? Obviously, Brazil have already qualified. So what are the big questions that people want answered going into these round of matches, considering what? There's no Vinicius Jr.?
Yeah, no Vinicius Jr., no Rodrygo, no Neymar, some big names out of the squad of Brazil. Hello, everybody. Always a pleasure to be here. Well, between Carlo Ancelotti and Vinicius Jr., it was already planned. Ancelotti told Vinicius a lot of time before that he would give him a rest, because Vinicius is suspended for the match against Chile, and the next match is against Bolivia in El Alto with the altitude. So the option that took Carlo Ancelotti was to give him a rest, because he already knows Vinicius. He knows what he can, how he can play, what he can give for the Brazilian national team. So it was an option of Carlo Ancelotti.
Now, looking at this tie, obviously there's a lot of talk about Rodrygo's future as well, which is put to bed given the transfer talk window is shut. So tell us more about that, Gustavo. Was there ever any chance of it moving? Was there any interest from anybody else in Europe?
Yes, there was a chance, because Manchester City was monitoring the situation of Rodrygo since a long time ago. Since the beginning, Manchester City has always been the club that monitored the situation of Rodrygo. There were some talks about Tottenham, some other clubs, but Manchester City was always the main club interested in Rodrygo. But the problem is that for Rodrygo to leave Madrid, it would be necessary a very high offer. And I think that it had never really happened, or it was never really close to happen. Rodrygo, he had some doubts about his role in Madrid. I think that with Xabi Alonso, he felt a little bit more important, because at the end of the last season, he was not playing, he was not happy, and he really thought about to leave Madrid. But with Xabi Alonso, I think that his situation changed a little bit, because Xabi is trying to make every player of the squad important. At least he's trying to make that every player of the squad feel that he's important for the season. So with everything that was happening around him, no really offer for Rodrygo, the decision was to stay in Real Madrid.
Is Ancelotti, being the coach obviously of Brazil, going to be a problem for Rodrygo going forward?
Yeah, I think that the situation of Rodrygo now it's really different from Vinicius, because Vinicius is a starter for Brazil. There is no doubt about it, especially with Carlo Ancelotti. Rodrygo wants to play on the left. He wants to play on the left flank for Madrid, and of course that would be also for Brazil. And Ancelotti, when he explained the absence of Neymar in this squad, that's a technical decision, because Neymar is not playing. Neymar has suffered with so many injuries. So when we look to Rodrygo at Real Madrid now, well, he started the second match, the second round against Oviedo. He didn't play any minute in the first match. Everybody remembers what happened in the Club World Cup. So I think that Rodrygo may be in a problem thinking about the World Cup. Vinicius didn't start the second match. He was starting the first and the third match in La Liga. In the last match, he was unbelievable. I think that Vinicius will have a very good season. So the talks between Vinicius and Real Madrid have stalled. Last May, they were close to an agreement. Vinicius earns nowadays 17 million euros net per year, okay? The offer made by Real Madrid was 20 million euros net per year, but Vini's camp expected a little bit more, because during the talks, they were talking about 20 million euros net per year salary, fixed salary, plus 10 million euros bonus per year also. Something like Kylian Mbappé made, because the salary of Mbappé is around that. The difference is at the bonus. So what Vini's camp tried to make the agreement with Madrid was fixed salary, okay, 20 million euros, but we also want 10 plus million euros per year. And when they received the last offer from Madrid, it was only the 20 million euros per year. So now the talks between them have stalled. Vinicius has contract until the next season, 26-27, and his agents don't believe that now to have 3 more years and to rise his salary only at 3 million euros, it's not worth now for them.
One last thing, like every time I see news about Neymar, it's negative in Brazil, obviously, with confronting the fans, both on the pitch and off the pitch. Is there any doubt that he should be in this Brazil squad? Because you say it quite confidently, Ancelotti wants him. How do the fans react to that?
There are many doubts about Neymar's situation nowadays when we talk about the Brazilian national team, because people who are watching the Brazilian championship don't see Neymar at the best level. He's even close to the best level. I can say now, with no worries, that Neymar isn't now the best player playing the Brazilian championship. So he has suffered with so many injuries. He was out for a long time playing for Santos. Now he was out of the Brazilian squad because of a technical decision made by Ancelotti, including Neymar. He didn't like that. He said that in an interview that, well, I'm not injured. I'm out of the squad because of the coach's decision. So I think that for Neymar to be in the Brazilian squad, he's going to need to play, to have many more matches, consecutive matches. He needs to play. He needs to regain the best level of his football, because now he isn't playing at best level. I know that internationally, when we talk about Neymar, everybody asks, "Oh, why Neymar is in the squad?" Because he isn't playing. He isn't playing so well now. He needs to play. He needs to be fit to play in the highest possible level. So the point now. The ball now is with Neymar. He needs to be ready for the national team and fit specifically.
Brazil, though, of course, have already qualified, as have Argentina, who are Venezuela's opponents. Should be easy then. Rock out to Argentina, beat them, Ali, take your 3 points.
Yeah, okay. Look, if you're Venezuela and you see what's going on with the qualifiers, you're depending a lot on what happens with Bolivia. Now, Bolivia play away to Colombia. What you want, if you're Venezuela, is for Colombia to beat Bolivia for 2 reasons. 1, because you don't want Bolivia to get any points, but 2, because then that puts Colombia into the World Cup already. How is that important? Why is that important? Because who does Venezuela play in the last match at home? Colombia. Once Colombia has qualified to the World Cup, they have nothing to play for. And so therefore, that would allow, or would give Venezuela the best chance possible to hang on to that 7th position. And of course, Brazil would do us a favor, now that Gustavo's here, please put in a good word, Gustavo, in going up to altitude in Bolivia and actually getting a result against Bolivia, so that Venezuela are in no danger. Venezuela have the pole position for that 7th place. They have the inside position, and it's really in their hands, and all the matchups seem to work out in their advantage, at least on paper. We'll see if that's the case. If they're 7th, then we don't have to stress until March, when the playoff comes about.
What percentage chance?
Of what?
Of them being in the World Cup in the summer, would you give them?
Of them being in the 7th position?
To being in the World Cup in the USA in 2026.
I need to know who else is involved in this playoff. But right now we're at a 50-50, I would say, for Venezuela.
50-50? Is that about right, Gustavo?
Well, all I can say is that I'm with Venezuela. I want Venezuela in the World Cup. That's the point.
There you are, Gustavo.
I knew I liked you, Gustavo.
Yeah.
I knew I liked you.
Yeah.
Vamos, Venezuela!
There we go, Gustavo. Thank you very much.
Vamos.
Just a reminder, La Liga on a break then, as of course is all domestic football at the moment for the internationals that are coming up. It returns, so September the 12th, Sevilla against Elche, and then on September the 13th, Real Madrid taking on Real Sociedad on the Saturday as well. Atleti, of course, still in search of their first win. They take on Villarreal. And then in theory, it's the first game at the new camp now. Barca taking taking on Valencia. Steve, were you on YouTube duty today?
Did you? Oh, yes.
What were you talking about? Anything exciting?
Soccer.
Liverpool shining.
Yes, all right. But
a little bit of Man City.
Sell it a bit more.
Yeah.
You can check that out over on our YouTube channel.